Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a video that I'm pretty excited about making. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a chatty video because, hello, almost all of my videos are very chatty. But today I'm actually going to be talking about some ideas and project pans and kind of how I do things and maybe how you want to do things. Where I'm going to try my hardest to give the general consensus and like how a lot of other people feel about different things, whether or not I do it, if that makes sense. I have no idea how long this video is going to be because, hello, I just sat down and started it. I'm trying not to get that lighting on my face like this because that's annoying. But if you're like, girl, I don't want to hear you talk for 25 minutes about project panning and probably talk about science and your dog and who the heck knows what else, just whatever I feel like. In short, if you want like a 3-second synopsis, do what you feel like is best. Do what works for you. So I'm going to try to start with picking products, using going through them, and then at the end, or like then finishing it up. So those are my 3 like topics. There is some overlap, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm really feeling the way I look today. Some days that's just, I need that right now. I've not had a good day, but you know, that's life, right? So first, picking of products. Well, before you can pick products, you got to pick the pan you're going to do. Pick one that excites you. I love a theme. So I like to do a lot of seasonal project pans. That's just me. If you are not that kind of person, you think that's cheesy, just do a 10 project pan. If you want to use a lot of products, do a project 20 pan. Do a project 50 pan. If you want a really long-term one, do a year one. If you want one that's going to be like, I just want to work on these products for a few months. They have lots of seasonal ones. You know, there's so many ways you can do it, and if you don't find one that works for you, make it up. Do what you want. It's so easy. It's literally for anybody because you can make it up. You can do what you want, and cool. Some people might join you. Hopefully that doesn't offend you. Some people might join you on what you're doing. Some people might not. Whatever makes you happy, just do it. You know. So once you have your products, or once you have your pan picked out, pick products that work for that pan. So if you're doing a, I don't know, a 2-month-long project pan, maybe trying to pan an entire eyeshadow palette isn't the most realistic. And I think it's very important to pick products that work for the pan you're doing, because otherwise you're going to get really, do y'all see Hippo in the background? I'm not going anywhere yet, baby. He thinks we're about to leave, so he goes in his cage. He's a good boy. You know, if you're like, oh, this is a 1-month project pan, so my goal is to use up this eyeshadow palette. It's probably not going to happen. You can get some use out of it, maybe even hit pan or 2, make some dents. But if you make really unrealistic expectations for yourself, I think it's very easy to get overwhelmed and get sad, and then you lose your inspiration. With that being said, if you know that you're the kind of person that needs to be using up stuff, like pretty consistently, pick products like that. Maybe pick some products that you know you've probably got a week left, but you just need that extra push. And even you know, it's like, you know, having one product down will just make you want to enjoy this more. You know that, I mean? That being said, the opposite is also true. You know, don't be like, okay, I have a project 17 and 17, and I really hope I use up this perfume sample this year. I think I can do that. You know, if you make it too easy, then you're not going to feel accomplished at the end, I feel like. Hippo loves project pans. He says we should use makeup all day, every day. I love him so much. Like I said, I've had a rough day. I applied for a fellowship, and I found out today I did not get that, but that's okay. That's life. On to the next thing. Obviously, it's easier said than done. I'm very aware of that. So they've been kind of loving on their mother. So yeah, just pick products that make sense to you. While you're using them up, also, like, set your goals. You don't have to use everything up. You can do products that you're like, okay, I want to finish this completely. You can do products where you're like, hey, I just want to hit pan. Or I want to use up half of this product. Or I just want to see a dip. Or I just want this product to look like it's not brand new anymore. I want to be able to look at this product and be like, okay, I've gotten some use out of that. Set whatever goals you want. Whatever works for you, set those goals. And then when you're using the products, I personally really like to set specific goals. For example, this is one of my 17 and 17 products. I will link my product playlist, or my product pan playlist down below. So I had already kind of broken slash used that up. We'll get into that in a minute. But you see, I want to just hit pan. I've already hit pan. I want to hit side pan on this product. That's a very specific goal, but that helps me personally go through it. I don't like to say, I just want to get some more use out of it. I want to be like, okay, here I am. I want to hit this side of the pan. And then it also, because I do my updates for this project specifically at the end of the month. So when it's like the 17th and I haven't hit that goal yet, I really focus in on those products. So for me, that works really well. Maybe it'll work well for you. I don't know. And maybe you are the person that's like, no, I already know I'm using it. I can just say I want to get more use out of it. That's cool. Like I said, I'm just telling you what works for me. It's a very personal thing. So I like to set very specific goals. Next, don't focus more than you can. And so I learned this the hard way. When I did one on Project Pan, in 2015, because I go back and forth with Project Pans. I get really into it and then I stop. I'm really into it right now, in case you can't tell. And I had a 15 and 15, because like I said, it was 2015. And those were the only products I was letting myself use. And I got to where I didn't want to put on makeup because it wasn't fun. Well, then it's defeating the whole purpose. You're defeating the entire purpose because you're not using things you're not using things up because you don't want to. So, I've learned from me, I'm really good at sticking to the same foundation. I don't feel like I need to try 75 foundations a month. I cannot stick to eyeshadow. Now, I have a rule that I've made for myself, maybe it'll work for you, is every Wednesday, or whatever day of the week you want, every Wednesday I have to use my Project Pan items for eyeshadow. So that means I'm getting at least 1 week of use out of it, 1 day a week. Now, I usually intersperse it throughout the week other ways. But if I was like, okay, I have to figure out how to use this polished platinum silver shadow every single day, I'm going to get bored of it and then I'm not going to want to do it. And eyeshadow for me is my favorite part of makeup. Even things like blush and highlight, I've been using the same highlight all year. Now, it has gotten a little bit frustrating. There have been a time or two when I'm like, that's it, I'm got to branch out. But in general, it's like, that's okay. That doesn't bother me. But eyeshadow, I need to change. And that being said, too, you can change your plan. If you're like, you know what, I don't think I'll mind. I'll use the same contour product all year or for the duration of this pan. And you get 4 weeks into it and you're like, I need to try something different. Try something different for a few days. Go back to it. Keep yourself into your project. Now, I just thought of something I probably should have said when I was talking about starting the Project Pan. But, like I said, it'll be a little back and forth. Pick products that you want to use or that meet the goals that you want. For me personally, I only put products in Project Pans that either one, I do not like, or number two, you can no longer buy. So this, again, I just keep grabbing this because it's right here. You can't buy this eyeshadow anymore. They no longer make it. It's also not one of my favorites. That works for me. To me, again, this is just my philosophy. I'm getting use out of it. I'm making sure I'm using it all the way up. But, and I'm doing that because I feel like with products that I already love, I'm already getting that use out of it. I'm already being able to focus in on it. Or it's a product that, I might really love it, but I can't get it anymore, so why hold it around? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I pick products. Now, I get lots of comments on my Project Pans, and I appreciate them. One of the comments actually kind of finally inspired me to do this video, because everyone does it differently. Some people think that's dumb. Some people think if you don't like it, just declutter it. I love declutter videos. I watch many declutter videos. However, I am not at a point where I want to declutter my collection. I'm just not. That's a me thing. It's not a you thing. For me, I don't want to declutter my collection. I get so much more enjoyment and fulfillment out of using something up than just saying, I'm done with this. I can't do it anymore. The only time I ever declutter something is if it breaks me out. But besides, or it's very irritating to my skin, like it will burn my eyes or something like that. But besides that, I don't declutter. And again, that's a me thing. So instead of decluttering, I put them in Project Pans and I get use out of them. Now, other people will be like, I just want to use my favorite things and make sure I can focus in and get use out of it. Cool. Or they like to pick oldest products because they're like, I feel like it's kind of the dirty little secret that we all know but nobody acknowledges. Makeup goes bad. You could have had a foundation for 3 years. It's gone bad probably. And I'm not calling anyone out because goodness knows I am 100% that person. I keep mascara open for a time that if an ophthalmologist found out, he would probably shoot me in the eyeballs and say you might as well have done it anyway with as long as you use your mascara. I get it. I'm just telling you, you gotta do what works for you. If you're like, it means a lot to me to get through my old products and have a newer collection, do that. If you want to focus in on the products that you love, do that. If you want to focus on the products that you don't like me, do that. Do what works for you. That's just how I like it, because I also feel like this is just my opinion. If I use up something that I love, then I'm going to have to turn around and go buy it again. Now, again, it would be much newer, so I can see the value of it, but I would rather just use up something I know I'm not going to repurchase. That's just me. And, just focus in and use it up. So then the reason why I started this, and again, she was very nice, very helpful, not at all being rude. She was just like, oh, because I broke a blush. She's like, you can just repress that, and then you can get use out of it. Yes, totally true. If you don't know, I've never done a video on it because I don't do it. But there's a million videos on YouTube of how you can crush up your product, put alcohol in it, and press it. You can also do that with loose pigments. If you feel like you'll get more use out of a loose pigment by making it pressed, then you can press that. Totally fine. And a lot of people do that, especially when, okay, this is going to be a little sneak peek, but whatever. Things like this happen, where you have just like the end, like you're at the around the edges and it's hard to pick it up on your brush. People will repress it and put it like in the center of the pan. That makes sense to me. I don't do that. And there are 2 reasons. Number 1, I do have normal to dry leaning skin. Alcohol is a drying agent. So to me, especially like a blush, putting a blush down on your eyes, putting alcohol in a blush to press it and then putting it on my cheeks and making my cheeks dry out, no, I just can't do it. Again, that's a me thing. Also, I see a lot of people that do that, which is cool. That's how they want to get use. But I feel like so many times it does change the formulation of the product. It makes it more powdery, or it makes it, you just be able to use it up faster, which is fine. But I don't want to change. I would rather scrape the edges and kind of, be very careful with my brush and do it that way than mess the formulation of the product. If that makes sense. Again, repressing is very popular. You want to do it, cool. I don't repress things. I would rather, be like, okay, it broke, I'm sorry, move on to the next thing, than try to repress it. And again, that might be because the products I choose are products I don't love. So it's not like, oh no, like, it's not like, oh my gosh, I just broke my favorite blush ever. Because that's probably not going to be my project pan, to be honest. Unless, well, actually the brush I'm loving right now is limited edition, so it could be. But you know what I'm saying? You just have to, it just, to me, it's not worth it. But to other people it is, so you do you. That kind of along similar lines, if you feel like you've achieved something by hitting pan, and that's the goal you want to do, then just hit pan. I have said many times, once I hit pan on a product, it goes into my monthly makeup bag. I have a little container that sits on my desk, and all my monthly makeup bag products sit in that container. I will leave that whole playlist down below in case you want to see things that are in there. In my opinion, hitting pan is an accomplishment, but it's not the end goal. Because, especially by some people, and I've done things like it because I do have my monthly makeup bag playlist, so I know once something's hit pan, I'm going to finish it up. But you've seen people that'll like dig in and hit pan. And so like it's like, that eyeshadow's pretty much new everywhere else, but you hit pan somewhere and they're done with it. And that's fine. I feel like there's still so much product left. So for me, it's about finishing up a product, not just hitting pan. But that's me. If you feel accomplished hitting pan, you're like, you know what? I hit pan on this. I got my money's worth out of this. I've used it to the full extent that I want to use it. Then be done. It's just about what works for you. And so the last thing I want to talk about is finishing your print pan. Some of them will have very firm deadlines. The one I just started is 4 by the 4th of July. It's going to be over on the 4th of July. 17 and 17. It's going to be over at the end of 2017. Sometimes you just do a project 10 pan. It's a project 10 pan. I'm using up 10 items. It doesn't have a set end date. You can choose to have an end date, or you can just choose to have it when I'm finished. Whatever works for you. Don't feel like a failure if you don't finish by your end date. It's okay. You know, I feel like people get so upset because they beat themselves up, but it's like, but you still got use out of it. You still, you still tried, and that's what matters. And the end goal, the reason of all project pans is to get use out of your makeup collection. Whether you want to use it up, hit pan, make a dent, whatever, it's to get use out of your makeup collection. So if you put an item in a project pan, even if you didn't finish it up, you're getting use out of it. And guess what? You can finish makeup that's not in a project pan. I was talking about that because last month in my empties video, I'll link it below, I used up a few makeup items that weren't in a project pan. I just used them up because they were in my monthly makeup bag. And it was so nice because it was like, I'm still using things up. It's not in a goal. It's not like I have a timeline. I just used it up. And I like that. And just so you know, if you feel like, oh, this pan's over, you can put that item in another pan, or you can just, try to finish up on your own, or you can just take a break from it and go back to it. Whatever you want, Makeup, especially here on YouTube, and I love makeup. I love it. Obviously, I wear a lot of makeup. It's okay. But makeup is just makeup. It's not a life or death situation. It's not gonna define you as a human being. It's just makeup. Do whatever you want with it. You don't want to wear makeup, cool. You don't ever have to wear makeup your entire life. You want to look like a hooker almost every day. Just go into the grocery store. You do you, man. I do that. I'm not judging. It's just makeup. You want to use it up a certain way, use it up a certain way. You want to throw things away because you don't like it, throw it away. It's all okay. And I feel like on YouTube, we get in this little mindset, and you get so focused on things because that's what you like and that's what you watch. Sometimes you just got to bring it out. Big picture. There's a lot more to life than makeup. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I love makeup. I love project planning. I love getting use out of my makeup, especially makeup that I don't like, because I feel accomplished using it up. So again, these are all my thoughts and opinions. If you have a different one, let's talk about it below. I don't want it to sound, I love when y'all give me what you think or your opinions. I have different ones sometimes, but that's okay. It's all okay, because we can all still like each other and be friends. If you want to know what's on my face or what I'm wearing, this is actually a dress. I'll just stand up and show y'all. It's from H&M. It's a dress, because I'm going downtown later tonight. Because one of my friends just got a really exciting job in Charleston. I don't like this though. I feel like it looks like I have a little fat pouch, but it's the way the zipper is. I don't like that. Don't have a fat pouch there. I have fat pouches other places, but let's not make it look like I have them when I don't. But yeah, so she's going to Charleston. She got a job. We're very excited for her. So we're gonna go downtown tonight and celebrate said job. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it all. It's just makeup, guys. But that's all I have to say. I don't know. I feel like I'm having a hard time ending this. I don't really know why. Maybe I'm just lonely. No, I'm not. I got my doggies. John's coming over later, so we're all good. Anyway, I'll see y'all real soon. Thank you for watching. It means the world to me. Comment, like, subscribe, all of that. And I'll see y'all real soon. Bye.